Oh, Friday, 5 p.m. We love you. You're in your rig. You're headed home. You're thinking, wow, what a sports weekend is upon us. It's Notre Dame Friday. For you Boise State fans out there, we'd like to welcome in our video audience. Remember, like, follow, subscribe the KTIK YouTube channel. We hope to one day just air everything we do on our YouTube channel. But for now, it's just one segment per show. So we welcome everybody watching this sucker. And we got what's at stake, kind of where we're going with this. It's Boise State, Notre Dame tomorrow, 1:30 NBC, KBOI. And what is at stake for 5 individuals associated with Boise State that, I mean, I don't want to say it could break them, but it could certainly make them, guys. Prater, we got some good stuff coming at 5 o'clock.
Yeah, not only are these individual stories, but I think these 5 individuals also could very much lead to the success of this football team. They're critical individuals, critical roles. There is one kind of odd one in here, but we'll explain that. We're going to start from the top with Spencer Danielson, but there's some players that have individual stuff on the line. When you play a big game like this, there's a lot of eyes, whether it's NFL scouts or just fans with deeper scrutiny. These are the kind of games that require everybody to go off and do their thing. These are the 5 that we've identified who have something individually at stake and could lead to team success for Boise State.
Well, let's bring Greg Frank across the glass into this sucker too, Greg. 5 Boise State players, coaches, just individuals that we think have a lot at stake. Who you sending our way?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, let's start at the top with the head coach. Johnny, you mentioned it. Spencer Danielson still looking for that first, power program win. Almost got it at Autzen Stadium last year against the Oregon Ducks. Spencer Danielson feels like he would launch himself into a different stratosphere of college football head coaches if he wins this game.
I agree with you, Greg. He would become more of, if he's not already, just a household name in college football. He would have the notch of this type of upset on his belt, like, Dan Hawkins had in Fresno. That was a really big deal. And Chris Peterson has had his as well. Heck, even Andy Avalos went on the road and beat a top 10 BYU team. He had that one. It would be nice for Spencer to finally get his. This would be, Spencer doesn't have a signature win yet, guys. It's UNLV in the Mountain West Championship game on Boise where they stormed the field and everything. But this would be massive for Spencer Danielson to win at Notre Dame. This would, elevate him, as Greg said, into another stratosphere, Prater.
Yeah, certainly here in Boise, certainly with the Boise State fan base. I don't know about nationally. It certainly wouldn't hurt, but I don't remember who the Marshall head coach was that beat Notre Dame. Nobody remembers Thomas Hammock's name from Northern Illinois last year. Who was the Cincinnati coach
Luke
in
Fickell.
2021? That was Luke Fickell, who went on to bigger things, and he certainly isn't known for beating Notre Dame. He's known for many, 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 many other things. So I don't think that there's any kind of national reputation at stake, or if he wins, he's going to all of a sudden be this hot commodity when it comes to coaching, this hot commodity when it comes to this big name, but certainly within the fan base. I wrote a column last year that Spencer Danielson was 0-3 against Power 5 opponents. I'm not sure I've ever, I shouldn't say ever, recently, I don't know if I remember the last time I got that much hate mail, because they took offense to that in terms of like, well, UCLA really wasn't his deal. It really wasn't his fault. You can't count that against him. And he almost beat Oregon, and if it wasn't for some special teams play, he would have won that game. And then obviously Penn State, that was a collective effort from everybody last year. So he is 0-3. You can't ignore that. This victory would be massive here in the Boise State circles. Spencer Danielson has to coach the game of his life tomorrow night, guys. No doubt about it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm curious if that lends itself towards him taking some more risks, or if he just thinks the game plan that he has before the game kicks off is going to be good enough to get a W. We shall see. All right, let's move forward. Head coach obviously gets tied to the quarterback quite a bit. Maddux Madsen, what's on the line for him tomorrow?
Well, for me, everything. And he is the guy. I wrote the column about what's at stake for him, and I thought he played. He was average at best against Oregon, guys. He was average at best, and he did not play well in that game. I thought he was, I don't want to say spectacular against Penn State. That's probably a little strong, but I thought he was really, really good against Penn State. He had 2 interceptions. that he'll think about for the rest of his life. The third one was a desperation heave. I'm not going to count that one. That doesn't matter. The doggy was pretty damn good against Penn State. Every time the doggy plays a Power 5 opponent, he gets just a little bit better. He's playing with great confidence. I think this is a decent matchup. I think Madsen is going to play well. I don't know if he's going to play well enough to win.
Remember how bad the second half was at Oregon for Mad Dog?
Bad.
Couldn't complete a pass. Receivers had no separation. It was like, wow. I hope Notre Dame isn't that type of athlete, player for player, and it's that obvious. And Boise State was still even able to hang with Oregon because of Ashton Jeanty. Yeah, he'll enter the new neighborhood, like Spencer Danielson will, certainly of Kellen and Z, who was on this show earlier. Heck, even Grant Hedrick and Hank Bachmeier have big-time wins under their belt. Hank beat BYU and Florida State, two big-name teams for this program. And that's one thing the doggy hasn't done yet either. Have a massive win. This would be that too. But I just think win or lose, or even if you lose, play well. Don't lose this game because of the doggy. By the way, you can get those Mad Dog maple bars at Pastry Perfection right now, Thursday through Saturday. A little plug there for them. But
nice.
Yeah, dude, just don't be the reason the offense stinks. I'm waiting for Mad Dog to win him a game, not just, doggy didn't lose it. That's all he has to do. Don't lose it for us, doggy. I'm waiting for people to say, they only won that game because of Maddux Madsen. And we've said that about Dinwiddie, about Kellen, all these other guys before. And this would be nice for Mad Dog to get there too, Greg.
Well, listen, I'll just say, I think the last couple of games, I know the competition pales in comparison to what they're going to see tomorrow, but I think Maddux Madsen's coming in playing pretty well.
He's been terrific.
So
you're right.
I think you should be feeling good as you can, as best you can feel.
And as much as I love Madsen and as much as I defend his game, he can't be the star of this game tomorrow. I love your scenario ball game,
but you're saying that won't work either. I'll buy that.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, maybe he can throw one touchdown pass at the end to win a game, but it would kind of be a team. I don't think he's good enough against this kind of a team to win it by himself. He needs a lot of help tomorrow.
Well, he can get some of that help from his backfield. And we kind of highlighted Sire Gaines, who we all thought coming into the year was going to be the horse in this backfield, or at least it seemed like there was the potential for him to be that guy in light of the departure of Ashton Jeanty. Sire Gaines tomorrow, ball game, you lead us off. What would a big game for Sire do for his stock?
Yeah, could he become RB1? And could this offense have an RB1 if Sire is just that good? And I'm talking about the physicality, everything he brings to the table as a running back, if it all is on display tomorrow. You know how big this would be for Sire? It would be, whoa, they replaced Ashton Jeanty. Oh, look at Jeanty's replacement. He just ran for 200 in South Bend against Notre Dame. Who is this guy? Oh, it would be all that stuff. He just needs to stay consistent. For Sire, it's almost like just be out there, man. And in my opinion, Dylan Riley's the best running back on this team. But Sire, he can certainly show me he's the best, as well as this entire Boise State community and family that's kind of been waiting, Greg, for him to be that next guy. And he hasn't been so far, Prater.
Dylan Riley has been the best performer on this football team through this season, no doubt about that. Sire Gaines to me is the best running back on this team. He hasn't rushed for 100 yards since the Georgia Southern breakout last year. The sample size is small because of his injury factor. If Spencer Danielson is to have any surprises tomorrow, this is what I want. I want limited carries from Malik Sherrod. I want limited carries from Dylan Riley. I want 25 carries from Sire Gaines. Sire Gaines is the big, powerful, physical beast that he is. He's the kind of guy that can go out there and attack this Notre Dame defense. Notre Dame's defense, rush defense, is ranked 49th in the country. I think they can get it. Boise State has the better offensive line. Boise State has a great running back. And I think if you can keep it in his hands, ball control, keep the ball out of Notre Dame's hands, I want a big monster game from Sire Gaines. I could use 140 yards and 2 or 3 touchdowns, maybe a couple of passes. And I want the emphasis to start with the coaching staff to put the ball in his hands every single time. I don't want this 3 running back nonsense in the first series. Get Sire Gaines involved early, get him involved middle, get him involved late, and just abuse him tomorrow so he can go out and abuse Notre Dame's defense.
Yeah, I think you nailed it, Prater. Sire Gaines, to me, is the most important player on the field for BSU tomorrow. And I looked this up. The leading rushers, if you added up the leading rushers yardage for Marshall and the leading rushers yardage for Northern Illinois, 262 combined rushing yards, and it split about evenly, 99 for the Marshall kid and 163 for the Northern Illinois kid. So I guess not about evenly, but the point stands. Both of those schools had a back that they handed the ball off to 20 times a game minimum and said, go take us home and keep us in this game, pound the rock, chew up the clock, things like that. Sire Gaines, you talk about it. He's a big guy, right? You would think he can handle this kind of a workload because of his body type and running hard-nosed yards in between the tackles. Definitely, for me, the most important player on the field. And you hope he's running mad tomorrow, right? Because all the talks about Jeremiah Love, hopefully that inspires somebody in the Boise State backfield. Let's go from the running back room to the offensive line. And Kage Casey, obviously a name that we're going to hear a lot of beyond just the college football season when we turn the page from CFB season to NFL draft season. What do you think here for Kage Casey? Obviously, you have to think this is the game that most of the NFL scouts are going to turn on when they're watching game film getting ready for the draft.
Yeah, I'll keep this one short. Draft day film. If Kage Casey gets his ass kicked this game, the whole NFL draft community will know about it. Oh, well, but the Notre Dame game, he gave up 3 sacks, didn't give up another sack the rest of his life, but couldn't do it against Notre Dame. Kage Casey, just be Kage Casey. Don't give up a sack. Don't commit a penalty and put some really good stuff on film so Mel Kiper can say, Todd, look, protect the passer. He's, I don't know, whatever, my Mel Kiper sucks, but yeah.
How many times last year did they reference the Oregon game for Ashton Genty? The same thing is going to happen with Kage Casey here. He's going to be fine in this game. Will he stand out and be a rock star? I don't know. We'll wait and see what happens. Kage Casey is nowhere to be found in first-round draft mocks right now, guys. Mm-hmm. And there are about 5 or 6, maybe even 7 or 8 offensive tackles out there right now that are getting much, much, much more love. Kage Casey, as we sit here right now, is a second-day draft pick. When the season started, we thought he was a first-round draft pick. As of today, he's a second-day draft pick. Big game against Notre Dame. He can move himself back up.
Yeah, and we talked a little bit about it in our meeting. It doesn't seem like there's a high-level NFL pass rusher here for Notre Dame. So I think that all the more reason for Casey to perform well here, because if he doesn't, then it could hurt his stock quite a bit. And lastly, we go to the nickel, Davon Banks, Jaden Mickey. I guess it's not looking good. I don't know if we've heard one way or another on his status.
Game time decision.
Okay, GTD. But you would think even if he does dress, you might see more of Davon Banks, and maybe he plays entirely if Mickey is out. Ballgame, you start Davon Banks. What's on the line for him tomorrow?
What's on the line for Davon Banks if he plays well? He gets out of the doghouse with Bronco Nation. Bronco Nation put this kid in their doghouse after he was dragging ass in the South Florida game. Didn't look like he wanted to be there. Looked like he knew the game was over, so he was, playing as a result, wasn't giving it his all. He can get out of that.
Giving up monster plays against Eastern Washington in the next week.
And then Spencer just yelling at his ass in front of everybody. He can get out of the doghouse if he has a good game.
If he doesn't have a good game, Boise State's going to get smoked in this game. And I hate to put it on Davon Banks, but, the passing game and what they can do and maybe tackling in the back half against those 2 monster running backs out of Notre Dame. I don't know if I want Jaden Mickey to play, guys. I mean, if the doctors clear him, that's fine. But think about this. He hasn't practiced all week. And he's going to go into this game with so much emotions based on the fact that he played there for 3 years. He's a Notre Dame graduate. This is a highly emotional game. And you put a highly emotional kid out there who hasn't practiced in an entire week, that's trouble. So at very best, he might play a limited role. At very best, Davon Banks can be average. If they need Davon Banks to be average tomorrow, and maybe they got a chance.
Yeah, and for me, I think it's just, what has he learned? I mean, clearly, I think we all know by now the roughing the passer penalty against South Florida put BSU behind the 8 ball, and they could never catch up from that point forward. You would hope that that's a learning experience, and he knows he can't do that again tomorrow, because if you get behind the 8 ball against Notre Dame, it's probably going to end up even worse than it was against South Florida.
All right, there's your 5 Boise State individuals with a lot at stake tomorrow against Notre Dame tomorrow. Heck yeah, we're almost there. Let's get that Friday 5 going on KTIK The Ticket.
From the Beacon Plumbing Traffic Studio, this is Ticket Traffic.